Oh, welcome coaches. We're here at Napier Boys High today in the sunny Hawke's Bay. We're going to look at some simple progressions today, and I want to focus on that word simple. It's one of the fundamentals of why we set up the rugby site back in 2010, and it's that there's a simplicity at the top of the game that I think should be transferred down the development pathway. Development's not about complexity, it's not about being the most complicated, having the flash of skill. To me it's about fundamentals and delivering them and helping your players understand them in the simplest format so they can not overthink things, they can just go as hard as they can. So today we'll profile the simplest drills we can in catch and pass, but we'll progressively make them more challenging to the players without compromising their understanding of what they're trying to do. And the better we can do that, the harder and more effective they'll be. So coaches, another really simple setup that we can add multiple progressions to is this. We've got cones set out here in a 5 metre channel. We will add defenders into this as we progress through, but the first thing I want us to do is I just want us in pairs passing to each other, and we're really going to reinforce again the key points that we have with our passing. So hands up meeting the ball, voice as a receiver, and really want to emphasise here that the receiver creates the depth by when they have the ball in their hands running hard, and that will create depth to be able to pass back to their partner so that we don't have forward passes. Expect your players to throw the odd forward pass in this as they get used to really hitting onto the ball and creating depth with their ability to run. Who's going to create the depth here?
The ball carrier.
The ball carrier. Okay, so if you start as ball carrier, give us a bit of gas, and that's going to create depth for the first receiver, eh? Receiver, when you get it, how are you going to create depth? Just gas it, create the depth. So once you've passed, just hold your foot speed back a little bit, let the receiver take it through, and we'll run through that a couple of times, see where we're at, eh? Okay guys, what do you reckon about that? Needs more voice? Yep, voice would be good. What else do we need?
Need a red line.
What do you mean by that, Henry?
After you've done the first pass, you need to sort of hold back a bit.
Yeah, hold back a bit. Yeah. What did you notice about the first ball carrier here? What was he doing to create the depth?
Taking it hard.
Yeah, taking it hard. How far was he taking it? Sometimes past the cone, eh? If we're here and we start flat, how far do you have to run to create depth? Just 1 or 2 steps, saying that's a challenge about what we're trying to do, particularly at the start, is creating that depth but not going too far with the ball in our hands to take space away from other people in the attack. So from here in particular, from a standing start, you only need a couple of steps and you've created the depth you need. This guy then needs to burst as hard as he can. He might use up 5 or 6 steps to create depth, and then boom, then you go, okay? And then we get into what you were talking about, Henry, which was really making sure that once you've passed, you're slowing yourself up so that you're not overrunning the ball. So let's just have a look at that, eh? See if we can create that depth as quickly as we can here, and our receivers burst on. Yep, go. Bang. So a couple of steps, Joe. Just a couple, Henry, go. Yeah, you got it. That's a lot better, man. What do we do a bit better there? Realigned, yeah, voice was good. Hands are up pretty consistently. So looking at all those simple things that we're looking to do with our pass, but particularly what did our starter not waste? Didn't waste meters, just took those couple of steps, created depth, and then gave it. So progression from here, coaches, is that we'll add in a fixed defender. And again, whenever we put this drill into training, there's a tendency to throw a moving defender in there. Just build it up step by step. Let the guys get used to having a defender there fixed, drawing and passing, and then we can add that progression of them being able to move freely. So we'll fix our defender on this blue cone, fix the other one on that blue cone on the other side, and another one on the white cone at the end. And go, Henry, go. Good. Go, Joe. Stuff, Josh. And dunk, go dunk. Okay, that's good, man. No issues with that defender being fixed. So this time the progression, coaches, is that we'll let that defender roam sideways only. Okay, don't want them running forward. and taking the space away. So they move along the line, but they can float in any direction. Let's see what that does to our accuracy. Players, what do we need to get right here? Draw that man, yeah. And what else do we need to get right about our pass? Hands up, all that simple stuff we've been talking about. So give it to me, what is it?
Follow through.
Follow through, yep, follow through with that hand, target. And yeah, keep it in front of the man. And receiver, what do we want heaps from you? Talk. Heaps of voice. And when you got that ball in your hands, let's go hard and create that depth. Let's go, sideways only. Good, good Gus. Nice. Coaches won't always get the right decision here from the ball carriers. If we at least have them running as hard as they can get themselves out of trouble. So really emphasise that when you've got the ball in your hands, are you running as hard as you can? Because you'll get yourself out of most situations. That was our 2v1 setup. So one more progression on it, just a simple 3v2. So it won't be that simple, it won't be as accurate as that. There'll be a lot more mistakes, expect it. But again, we'll go through a progression of fixing the defence first, getting the attack used to having a defender in front of them, making the right decision to getting it to space, and then we'll let the defensive line roam from there. So that two-stage progression, fix the defender and then give them free rein. So coaches, we've got our two fixed defenders here, we've got our man in space here. So what do we want from you, Fletcher?
Running onto the ball.
Running onto the ball, and what you calling space, my man? Because you're in it, you want it. Ready? Let's go. Good. Who's in space? Let me know who's in space. Where's the hole? Where's the hole? Where's the hole, Jack? Okay, coaches, you're seeing that we're having the guy in the wide channel. He's calling, yeah, wide, 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 but want him to be more specific. I want him really making it clear. I'm in space, I want the ball. Talk's okay, guys. How can we make it better? Call for where the hole is, eh? Like, Fletcher, this is the most exciting time in the game for you because you're in space, mate. You need to demand it. And when it comes back to you, Jack, you're in space. Good. So I want to know how excited you are that you've got an opportunity to go through that hole. That's it, Jack. That's much better. It's good, guys. Keep the voice up. Good work. Okay, that'll do. Last progression on this one, coaches, is we'll let the defenders roam. So defenders, you've got free rein now. Stay lateral, but you're allowed to go wherever you want. So let's hear from the attack where the hole is, eh? Any one of you three can talk about it. Get your voices up. Have a look.
Hole on three. Wide, give me wide. Yeah.
Good. Expect this to be messier, and again, even more important that our voice is good. So coaches, we've taken a really simple setup from no defence, and we've progressed it to one defender fixed, two defenders fixed, and then two defenders roaming. Guys, that's a tricky drill, eh? Tough to get right. If you're not the guy in space and you end up with the ball and you make the decision to go, well, what do you need to do?
Go hard.
Just go hard, eh? And make that decision as good as it can be. And what do you need to do to make sure that we hit those holes more often than we don't? Talk. It's as simple as that. Yeah, identify them. Like, we're all looking up, we're all seeing them, but when we hit those holes, when we get the ball to the holes, generally what have our attack done?
Made the advantage line.
Made the advantage line. They will, but before they get to the advantage line, what's the person who's in the space done?
Sprinted onto it.
He's run onto it, yeah, but what's he done before he's even run onto it? He's called it. It's as simple as that, man. That, like, communication is so critical to what we're wanting to do here. So coaches can't reinforce it enough. We've got young guys coming through the grades. The younger they are, the less comfortable they are using their voices. This is a higher end secondary school age group here. So again, we're just hammering that voice as much as we can. The better our voice is, the better we play, and the more we're going to be able to take advantages of those attacking opportunities. But well done, guys. Thanks for the effort.